I need to understand. Kor studied her for a long moment. Then he walked closer. You were lucky before. Luck is not skill. Luck ends the moment someone stronger challenges you. Lena clenched her fists. I want to be ready, she said. I want to survive. Kor nodded slowly. Then we start again. But this time, you will not just hold the swords. You will move with them. He stepped back and raised his single blade. Prepare yourself. Lena lifted her own swords. Her arms shook immediately, but she forced them steady. Her body still burned from the last test, but she pushed the pain aside. She could feel the energy running through the blades, humming in her hands. Each movement required balance and timing. She could not let her feet falter, could not let her arms slip, could not let her mind wander. Kor lunged first. His blade moved faster than she expected, a straight line of light aimed at her chest. Lena barely blocked it with one sword. The other swung out instinctively, slicing through the air to meet the next strike. Kor's claws clicked against the floor as he moved. Lena followed every step, every swing. Her body burned, but she began to feel the rhythm. Two swords felt like one, if she concentrated. She could sense each blade, each strike, each movement, as if they were part of her body. Minutes passed. Sweat poured down her face. She stumbled once, almost dropping a blade, but she caught herself. Kor pressed harder, faster, and Lena had to adapt instantly. You move well? Kor said after a strike, almost surprised. Better than I expected, but you are not human enough yet. Lena frowned. What does that mean? You survive by instinct? Kor said. Other species cannot endure what you just did. Humans can take the pain, ignore it, keep moving. But instinct alone is not enough. You need control, discipline, timing. He lunged again. This time Lena felt her arms lock, her mind calm. She moved with both swords together, anticipating his next attack. She blocked, parried, and then countered. Her second sword found its mark, a light tap against his armor. That made Kor blink. He stepped back, a small smile on his face.
Interesting, he said. Most species would collapse.
You do not. Lena's chest heaved. I can do more, she said. I want to do more. Or studied her closely. Then you must understand something. You are different, yes. But difference makes enemies. The galaxy does not take lightly those who survive what others cannot. Every victory you gain will bring someone stronger. Someone who expects humans to fail. Lena looked at the swords in her hands. Then I will keep going, she said. I will be ready. Kor nodded and stepped back. Tomorrow you fight another challenge. A veteran fighter. If you survive, you will not just have held two swords. You will have proven that a human can fight with them. The rest of the day passed in a blur. Lena trained, first slowly, then faster. Each movement felt like fire in her arms, but with every swing, every parry, every step, she grew stronger. Her body learned how to adjust. Her mind learned how to think 2 moves ahead. Her eyes tracked 2 points of focus, 2 blades, 2 paths at once. At night, Lena lay on the platform, staring at the ceiling. Pain throbbed in every muscle, but she smiled slightly. She knew she had changed. She had broken a rule no one thought could be broken. And she had survived. The next morning, the hall was silent, except for the sound of feet on metal. Kor appeared again, this time with a new figure beside him. The alien was taller than most, with long limbs and dark, shiny skin. His eyes glowed red, and he carried a blade that seemed heavier than any Lena had seen. This is Reth, Kor said. One of the veterans. He has fought hundreds of matches. He will test you properly. Lena felt her heart skip a beat. Hundreds of matches. She had only fought one instructor, and now she would face someone with experience beyond measure. Reth stepped forward. His gaze rested on Lena. I have seen your kind before, he said, his voice deep. You are small, weak, and reckless. I do not expect much. Lena lifted both swords. "I am not weak," she said, "and I do not expect you to make it easy." The veteran smiled slightly, almost impressed. Then he lunged. His movements were fast, calculated, and precise. Lena barely blocked the first strike, swinging both swords at angles she had not known were possible. Her body screamed in protest. Pain shot through her shoulders and arms. She gritted her teeth and pressed forward. Reith attacked again and again. Each strike was faster, each swing sharper. Lena began to sweat through her clothes, her legs shaking, her arms trembling. Blood ran in small cuts along her hands, but she ignored it. She realized something. She was learning. Each strike, each block, each swing became easier. Her body adjusted. She could feel her arms moving independently yet together. Two swords felt like one. Her mind was faster than Reith's attack pattern. Minutes passed. Lena was exhausted, burning, aching, but she did not fall. Reth's eyes widened slightly. He moved faster, testing her, pressing her limits, and still she endured. Then something changed. Lena found a rhythm. She did not just block, she controlled the battle. She led him, forcing him to defend against two unpredictable attacks at once. Her swords moved in harmony, dancing around his blade, striking when he left openings. Reth took a step back, breathing hard. He lowered his weapon slightly. You survive," he said, his voice low. "No one should survive this long with two swords." Lena smiled faintly, sweat dripping down her face. "I told you," she said. "Humans are different." Kor stepped forward, his eyes wide. "This is beyond expectation," he said. "She is beyond anything we knew. Sensors cannot explain it." Lena's mind raced. She had survived. She had adapted. She had proven that humans could endure what the galaxy believed impossible. But she also knew something else. This was only the beginning. If she survived today, she would face someone stronger tomorrow, and the day after that. As the sun set over the academy, Lena stood on the platform, swords in hand, sweat dripping, body trembling. She looked out at the empty hall and whispered to herself, "I will not stop. I will not fall. I will survive." Far above, in a council chamber filled with leaders from many worlds, screens showed the fight over and over. Lena's small form holding two swords against a veteran fighter. Each replay brought a mix of fear, disbelief, and awe. "This human," one voice said, "is not like the others. If she can do this, what else can her species do?" Another voice answered, quieter this time, but with a note of worry. "We will have to watch them closely." And somewhere deep in the galaxy, Lena's endurance had already begun to change the way every species thought about humans. The morning air in the academy was cold and sharp. Lena woke early before the others and stretched her stiff arms. Her muscles were still sore from the previous day's fight, but her mind was awake and restless. She had survived against Reth, one of the deadliest veterans in the hall, yet she knew survival was not the same as victory. In the corridor, shadows moved. Other students were already practicing, their swords flickering in the pale light. Lena passed them without a word. Some glanced at her, some whispered. She heard one of them mutter, "She will break eventually." Lena smiled faintly. That thought only strengthened her. She reached the training room and found Kor waiting. His usual stern face was calmer than before, though his green eyes still studied her carefully. "Today will be different," he said. "You will not fight a single opponent. You will face multiple." She had expected it. The academy tested endurance, not just skill. Kor gestured toward the arena. It was large, filled with strange platforms, walls, and obstacles. The energy swords of the trainees were already laid out in neat rows. In the center, 3 alien warriors were waiting, each with long blades. Their skin was dark, their muscles thick. They were veterans, and they had been told to treat Lena as a threat, not a student. "You will enter the arena alone," Kor said. "They will attack in sequence. You cannot stop them all at once. Your skill, your mind, and your body will be tested. If you fall, it will be recorded, studied, and explained. If you survive, you will begin to change the way this academy thinks about humans. Lena's hand shook slightly as she lifted both swords. She could feel the energy running through the blades. The humming in her fingers was familiar now, a song of balance and focus. The first warrior lunged immediately. He was fast, swinging a long, sharp blade in wide arcs. Lena blocked, parried, and countered. Her movements were smooth, almost like water flowing over rocks. Her body remembered each strike, each angle, each pulse of energy. The second warrior attacked from the side. Lena swung both swords, one blade deflecting, one striking. Her arms burned, her legs shook. She stumbled but recovered. Each attack was a wave she had to ride, not just fight against. The third warrior waited, watching. Lena could feel his focus. He was patient, analyzing her, waiting for a weakness. Minutes passed like hours. Sweat soaked her hair. Cuts and scratches ran along her arms. Yet she did not fall. Her mind worked faster than ever. She moved without thinking. She acted by instinct and by calculation at the same time. The first two warriors paused, breathing heavily. They had expected a human to collapse. They had expected her to fail after the first few strikes. But she was still standing. The third warrior lunged. Lena blocked one swing with a right blade. The other swung in a wide arc. She countered. Her movements were almost seamless. Kor's eyes widened. Even he had not expected her to endure this long. Sensors were overheating. Systems were showing readings beyond what they thought possible. Human endurance is different, Kor muttered under his breath. The first warrior attacked again, trying to trap her. Lena pivoted, using both swords to defend and strike at the same time. She moved through the attacks like water moving around obstacles, each strike precise, each step controlled. The second warrior tried to catch her off guard, swinging from above. Lena jumped, flipping in the air, and brought both swords down in perfect balance. The tip of one sword grazed his armor, enough to make him stumble. The third warrior advanced faster now, testing her limits. Lena's arms burned, her legs trembled, but she did not falter. Her mind predicted his movements. She blocked, twisted, and slashed with both swords. A small cheer went up from the observation deck. Other humans and a few curious aliens watched. They whispered among themselves. She is doing what no one should survive. Minutes stretched into half an hour. Lena had fought continuously. Pain screamed in every muscle, but she pushed it aside. Her mind controlled her body. Her instincts guided her movements. The first warrior fell back, exhausted. The second followed. Only the third remained. He lunged again and again, but Lena met every strike. Her blades moved independently, yet together. Her body was in perfect balance, despite the strain. Finally, she saw an opening. The third warrior overextended. Lena struck with precision, the tips of her swords finding gaps in his defense. He stumbled, barely catching himself. Lena held her stance, breathing heavily. For a long moment, the arena was silent. The other warriors stepped back, their eyes wide. They had never seen a human fight this way. Kor approached slowly, his green eyes glowing. "You have survived," he said. "You have not only held two blades, but you have fought multiple veterans at once. The Academy has never seen this before."
Lena dropped to one knee, exhaustion overwhelming her.
"It is not enough," she said. "I can do more. I must do more. You are learning faster than we can measure. Sensors cannot explain it. Other species cannot understand it. You are different." Lena looked at the swords in her hands. They no longer felt heavy. They felt like an extension of her body, her arms, her mind. She realized something. Humans survived not because of strength or speed, but because they endured. They could push through pain, push through fear, push through limits that others could not imagine. The third warrior stepped forward, bowing slightly. "You are not weak," he said. "You are remarkable." Lena stood slowly. Her body shook, but she smiled faintly. "I am only beginning," she said. Word of her feat spread quickly through the academy. Students whispered, instructors stared, and the council watched in silence. Humanity was no longer seen as weak. They were different. They endured. They survived when others would fall. That night, Lena sat alone on the platform, her swords across her knees. Pain throbbed in every muscle. Her body was screaming for rest, yet her mind was alive, thinking, planning, dreaming. Far above in the council chambers, leaders from many species watched her fight again and again on screens. Each replay brought a mixture of fear and fascination. "If one human can survive this," one voice said, low and tense, "what happens when they train for it?" Another voice, quieter, responded, "Then we must watch them closely. Humans may change everything we thought we knew about combat." Lena did not know the council was watching. She only knew the thrill of surviving, the fire of pushing beyond limits. She had fought against the impossible, and she had endured. Tomorrow would bring a new challenge. Stronger opponents, faster attacks, harder trials. Lena felt a spark of excitement. She had survived this day. She could survive the next. And somewhere deep in the galaxy the whispers began. The humans were not weak. They were not fragile. They were something entirely new. Something no one had expected. And Lena smiled. She held both swords in her hands, feeling the hum of energy, the pulse of life. She was ready to face whatever came next. The galaxy, unknowingly, was beginning to fear the endurance of a human. The alarm rang through the academy before dawn. Lena woke to the sharp, echoing sound and immediately felt her heart race. She rolled off the platform, arms sore, legs stiff, but her mind alert. This was not a test. She knew it. The other students were already gathering, their faces pale with surprise and fear. Kor moved through the hall, giving orders. "Stay in formation," he said. "This is real. Get your weapons." Outside, the sky was dark. Ships were descending fast, dropping mercenaries trained to attack and destroy. They were not students. They were not here for training. They were here to kill and capture. Lena's eyes widened. The academy, the place that had seemed safe, was under attack. "Prepare yourself," Kor said, handing Lena her swords. "You will hold the front line." Lena's hands tightened around the blades. Her arms burned from the previous day's fights, but adrenaline surged through her veins. She stepped into the hall where the first mercenaries were already breaking through the doors. They were bigger than most academy warriors. Their armor was dark, and their energy weapons hummed with power. They moved quickly, cutting through automated defenses as if they were paper. Lena did not hesitate. She lifted both swords, feeling the familiar hum of energy. She charged forward, blocking the first attack with one blade, striking back with the other. Her movements were fast, fluid, precise. Each swing cut through the air like water. The mercenaries attacked in groups. Two came at her from the side. Lena spun, using one sword to block, the other to push them back. She stumbled once, almost falling, but caught herself. Pain shot through her arms, yet she continued. Other students were fighting too, some retreating, some holding their ground. Many fell quickly. Lena saw them and felt fear, but she ignored it. Fear slowed humans down, she reminded herself. Survival required focus. The first wave of mercenaries began to retreat, stunned by her speed and precision. Lena's swords flashed in the dim light, striking again and again. She moved like water, flowing around attacks, striking where they were weakest. A sharp scream drew her attention. Another group of mercenaries had trapped a small squad of students. Without thinking, Lena ran to them, dual-wielding her swords, cutting through the attackers. Each strike was precise. She did not stop, did not hesitate, even when her arms ached. The students stared at her in shock. She did not speak. She only fought. Every swing of her swords was controlled, every step measured. She became a force, a whirlwind of motion. One mercenary was faster, stronger, and bigger than the others. He charged at her with a heavy blade. Lena stepped back, swinging both swords to block. Sparks flew where metal met energy. Her muscles screamed, her arms trembled, but she did not fall. She countered, striking his armor with both blades at once. He stumbled, shocked by her strength. Other instructors came to help, but Lena moved faster than they expected. She blocked, struck, and protected the students who had no chance against trained mercenaries. Minutes passed, each one longer than the last. Lena's body was exhausted. Her legs shook, her arms burned. Blood ran from small cuts along her hands, but she ignored it. Every attack she survived made her stronger. Every strike she landed made the enemy hesitate. The hall was filled with the sounds of battle, shouts, weapon hums, armor clashing, and the thud of bodies hitting the floor. Lena felt alive in a way she had never felt before. Her mind worked faster than any enemy attack. Her body moved like she had trained her whole life, even though she was still young and small. Then the leader of the mercenaries appeared. He was massive, with dark red armor and a long, jagged blade. He moved with speed Lena did not expect. He swung at her, hard and fast. Lena blocked with both swords, sparks flying. He attacked again and again. Each strike was stronger than the last. Lena's arm shook, but she did not let go. She jumped, spun, and struck back. Her swords found gaps in his defense, hitting armor plates, forcing him back. Other students tried to help, but they could not match his strength. Lena's speed and dual-wielding allowed her to move where they could not. She dodged, parried, and attacked in a rhythm that no one expected. The mercenary snarled, frustrated.
"Human!"
he growled. "You are too small, too weak. How can you stand against me?" Lena breathed heavily, sweat dripping into her eyes. "Because humans do not stop," she said. "We endure." He lunged again. Lena blocked, twisting both swords in a perfect arc, and countered with all her strength. He fell back, stunned, blood trickling from a shallow cut. The other mercenaries hesitated, seeing their leader stumble. Lena pressed her advantage, striking again and again. Her movements were almost too fast to follow. Her body was in pain, her muscles screaming, but she did not stop. Finally, the mercenaries began to retreat. They had not expected a single human girl to fight like this. They had not expected her to survive against so many, and so quickly. Lena's chest heaved. She was covered in sweat and blood, her arms trembling from holding two swords so long. Around her, students who survived stared in awe. They whispered about what she had done. Kor approached her, his face unreadable. "You have done more than I expected," he said. "You held the line against trained mercenaries and protected others. A few species could have done what you did today." Lena lowered her swords, her body shaking, but her mind clear.
"It is only the beginning," she said. "They will come again."
"I need to be ready." Far above, the council watched silently. The footage showed Lena moving through the mercenaries, faster and stronger than anyone believed possible. One leader leaned forward. "If humans fight like that alone," they said, voice trembling, "what will happen when they organize?" Another voice answered, quiet and tense. "We may have underestimated them. Humanity is not what we thought." The academy was damaged, walls scorched and broken. Fires burned in some areas, alarms blared, and the smell of smoke filled the corridors. Lena walked slowly through the hall, her swords in hand, surveying the aftermath. She saw students who survived, wounded and scared, but alive. She knew the enemy would return. They always did. That night, Lena sat alone on the platform, her swords resting across her knees. Pain burned in every muscle. Her body ached, but her mind was alive. She had survived the impossible, faced enemies stronger than anything in the academy, and protected others while doing it. She knew the next day would be harder. More attacks, stronger opponents, more challenges. Yet she smiled faintly.
She was ready.
Humans survived by enduring.
They endured what others could not. And Lena was living proof. Far away, the council whispered, "Humans are not weak. They are something new, something we may not be able to control." And in the academy, Lena rested, preparing for the battles yet to come, her hands gripping two swords, her heart steady, her mind sharper than ever. The galaxy would not forget her. The morning sun rose slowly over the academy, painting the halls in pale gold. Lena sat on the edge of the platform, both swords in her hands, her arms still sore from yesterday's battle. She had survived attacks that would have killed most of the veterans. She had protected the students. She had proven that humans endured what no one else could. Yet today, Lena knew the challenge would be greater. Kor appeared beside her, calm but serious. "The council has decided," he said. "You will face the ultimate trial, not in the academy. Not here. You will go to the outer training grounds. There, you will face every type of warrior from across the galaxy. Only one human has ever attempted such a test. No one has survived." Lena lifted her swords and nodded. "I will do it," she said. "I have to know what humans can do." Kor studied her. "This is more than skill. This is endurance, strategy, and willpower. You will not just fight their attacks. You will survive their expectations, their fear, their strategy. Do you understand?" "I understand," Lena said, gripping her swords tighter. They reached the outer training grounds, a massive arena under the open sky. The ground was rocky, uneven, and filled with obstacles. Towers, walls, trenches, ships hovered in the distance, ready to drop more warriors if needed. The council's representatives watched from above, their eyes cold and calculating. They had underestimated humans before. They would not underestimate Lena. One by one, warriors began to arrive. They came from different worlds, different species, all carrying energy blades, spears, or heavy weapons. They had been warned. The human girl was the one to watch. The first warrior approached. He was tall, with long, curved blades in both hands. Lena lifted her swords and met him head-on. He lunged, swinging one blade at her head and the other at her side. Lena twisted, blocked, and countered. Pain shot through her arms, but she moved faster than he expected. She pushed him back, then struck with both swords at once, forcing him to retreat. More warriors came, two at a time. Lena did not hesitate. She moved through them like a river flowing around rocks, her sword striking where they were weakest, her body adapting to every angle and every attack. The ground shook as a larger warrior appeared. His armor was thick, his blade heavy. He moved slower than the others, but each strike carried immense power. Lena danced around him, using both swords to block, deflect, and push him back. She felt the weight of her body, the strain in her arms, and yet she did not falter. Each strike made her stronger. Each block sharpened her mind. The sun rose higher. Sweat poured from her. Blood trickled from cuts on her hands, but she continued. The council watched, stunned. Sensors recorded data that could not be explained. Lena was enduring beyond what anyone thought possible. The warriors grew frustrated. Some tried to attack together, coordinating strikes, hoping to overwhelm her. Lena's body moved instinctively. She blocked one strike, countered another, and used the momentum to evade a third. Her swords flashed, precise and deadly. One veteran, the most feared of all, stepped forward. He had fought thousands of battles and defeated countless warriors. He laughed when he saw Lena, small and human, holding two swords. "You think you can survive against me?" he said. "No human can endure this." Lena smiled faintly. "I do not think," she said. "I endure." The battle began. He struck hard and fast, a blur of power and skill. Lena blocked, twisted, and countered, her swords moving as extensions of her arms. Sparks flew with every clash. Her muscles burned, her body screamed, but she did not stop. Minutes passed, then hours. Lena moved continuously, fighting one opponent after another. Warriors fell back, exhausted and shocked. She had faced them all, but the veteran still advanced, stronger and faster than the rest combined. Her arms trembled. Her legs ached. Sweat stung her eyes. Yet she continued. Each swing, each block, each step was calculated, precise. She did not falter. She did not give up. She endured. The veteran roared, frustrated. He struck with a heavy swing aimed to end the battle. Lena blocked with both swords spinning and countered, striking a weak point in his armor. He stumbled, surprised by her strength and skill. She did not stop. She pressed forward, moving faster than anyone could follow. Each motion was a dance of precision and endurance. The veteran tried to trap her, but Lena moved in ways no one expected. She struck, blocked, and forced him back. The other warriors stopped attacking, watching in awe. They had never seen a human fight this way. They had never seen someone endure this long, with this much control and focus. Finally, the veteran fell back, exhausted and defeated. Lena stood in the middle of the arena, chest heaving, swords in hand, body trembling, but alive. She had survived every attack, every challenge, every expectation. The council representatives stared in silence. No one moved. They had never witnessed endurance like this. One whispered, "Humans, they are not weak. They are different." Another voice said quietly, "We have underestimated them. This changes everything." Lena dropped to her knees, exhausted, sweat and blood covering her. She had faced warriors stronger, faster, and more experienced than anyone else in the academy. She had endured what no one thought possible. Kor approached, placing a hand on her shoulder. "You have done more than survive," he said. "You have proven that humans can endure what no one else can. You have changed the rules." Lena looked at her swords, glowing softly in the light. Her arms were shaking, her body screaming in pain, but her mind was clear. "I did not fight for glory," she said. "I fought to survive. Humans endure because we must. We survive because we cannot stop. That is what makes us human." Far away, the council watched silently. They realized the truth. Humans were not the fastest. They were not the strongest. But they endured. They survived what others could not. They adapted, they pushed through limits, and they changed everything. The outer training grounds were quiet now. The fallen warriors had retreated. The students who survived looked at Lena in awe and fear. They whispered, "She is not just a human. She is a force." Lena stood slowly, gripping her swords tightly. Her body trembled from exhaustion, but her eyes were sharp and steady. She had survived the impossible. She had proven the endurance of her species. The galaxy had taken notice. Humans were no longer weak. They were not fragile. They were a species that endured, survived, and thrived where others would fall. And Lena, the girl who had picked up 2 swords when the rules said it was impossible, had become a symbol. A symbol of what humans could do when they refused to stop, refused to give up, refused to fall. The council would debate her for months. The other species would talk about her for years, but Lena only cared about the moment. She had survived. She had endured. She had changed the galaxy's view of humans forever. She placed the swords gently on the ground, her body trembling but her spirit strong. "This is only the beginning," she whispered, and somewhere deep in the galaxy, a quiet thought began to spread. If one human could endure this much, what could an entire species do? The answer was unknown. The galaxy would soon find out. And Lena, standing tall despite every wound, every ache, and every challenge, knew that humans would not stop. Humans would endure. Humans would survive. Humans would change everything. The sun set over the academy, and Lena looked toward the horizon. She was exhausted, but she was alive. She had done what no one thought possible. She had held 2 swords, fought countless warriors, and survived. The galaxy would never forget her, and humanity had only just begun.